So here I have developed AI, an AI user interface that it works off an API from ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. This is just the logic I implemented for the HTML side for where the actual Razor web page is going to be. Probably the most interesting thing here is how I went about getting the questions and responses. Essentially, it feeds from a list, and each time we go through this, we iterate over and we get the last message out of the list, or whatever message. I guess it would be the last because typically each iteration is based off of I. And that same logic kind of continues down here where we develop a string of messages from our public message. Here we are entered the C# coding. This is so we can access the HTTP client. This adds our messages to our message, or adds our individual message to our list of messages. I blocked out what my API key is, but if you would like to run this, you will need to get your own API key and insert it. Here in this part right here, this is a little bit malleable depending on the model you want to run. I decided to go with GPT 3.5 Turbo, but this is just the general JSON content that is going to be fed in and deserialized or serialized a little bit later. I chose, since GPT is a role-based model, I had to define the roles, and then also I gave it the content that it's going to be responding to. It's a good idea to set what your max tokens are going to be, so that way you don't accidentally overspend on one query, unless you have big money, in which case do what you want. And then coming down here, this is just some of the logic in order to get information out of from the URL that accesses that's sort of like the port for the where we get the AI requests from. This was just some error checking logic I had when I was doing some problem solving. You don't actually need an if else statement here, but it is a good idea. That way you don't end up running errors and wasting API keys or wasting money on API requests. And this just clears the string, and this just updates the state. The other big thing is over here in our CSS. This is all the standard CSS that comes with Blazor. Some of it's Bootstrap. Here, everything down here is what I actually added, from the messages to the responses to the questions. Notably, in the messages, I added a scrolling class, or a scrolling feature, so that way when it overflows, that it doesn't flow off the screen. And really just the coloring and features for the text messages and so on and so forth. To show you what it actually looks like, here is, so in your command line, I like to run from command line .net run, and that's going to start up the server. And I can go to this local host. We'll go, oops, gonna follow this link. And you can see it opens up this basic chatbot feature. And you say, hi, my name is Hayden. When will the world end? And really, ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo is going to answer that question. They don't know, so that's a good sign. So we can keep coding away.